welcome to the Bucknuts Morning 5 here on Friday, November 23rd, 2018. I am Dave Biddle, very happy to be joined by Steve Helwagen. Hope everyone had a great Thanksgiving yesterday. I know I ate way too much, but that's how I do it on Thanksgiving. It is the eve of the game, of course, and let's start right at the top, Steve. The Wolverines are favored by 4.5 points over the Buckeyes tomorrow. Steve, who is going to win this game, and what will the final score be, in your opinion?
Ohio State is going to win the game 27-24, and here's why. I think that Ohio State's offense is still going to manage to put the ball in the end zone. I think Michigan's offense struggled last week in the red zone against Indiana and may have similar issues, even though Ohio State's defense may not be the best. It seems to me Ohio State's defense is at a disadvantage when they have the opponent pinned deep in the other end. When they let them get into the red zone, they usually do a little better job. So who could figure that would be the way that it goes? But in all seriousness, I just think, and again, playing in Ohio Stadium is going to be a tremendous advantage for Ohio State. And I don't know, something tells me that where people don't think that there's a lot of leadership on this team, the things I've seen this team overcome in person, like last week in Penn State and some different things this season, I think there is. I think it's just quiet leadership. It's not raw leadership like people, think. It's guys like Terry McLaurin and Johnny Dixon, just making plays that no one would expect them to make. And I don't know, to me, I think there's something there. Draymond Jones, coming through in the clutch, making a big play, just little things like that. I don't know quite why, but, Michigan, we've, kind of the old Denny Green thing, you want to crown them, whatever. But I don't know. They're a good team, but they didn't play particularly well last week against Indiana. Of course, Ohio State didn't play particularly well last week against Maryland. So that's kind of my thought, is that Ohio State playing at home makes them even that much tougher to beat.
Yeah, I have a similar score. I also have Ohio State winning this game. I have it 24-23. I like that Ohio State's the underdog in this one. I think that's going to get them in the right place mentally. Now, this is a good Michigan team. They're complete, and I will not be surprised at all if Michigan finally ends their drought in Columbus. Have not won here since 2000. But I'm going to pick the Buckeyes. I just feel like Urban Meyer, when he's an underdog, the back's against the wall, playing at home. If this is a neutral site, if they're playing especially if they're playing in Ann Arbor, they never played a neutral site. I don't even know why I said that. If they're playing at the big toilet bowl at Michigan Stadium, I would be really concerned about this game. I'd probably pick Michigan to win, but I'm going to pick the Buckeyes, 24-23. All right, Steve, we have 4 questions from Morning 5 listeners / Bucknuts subscribers.
Let me go in just one other thing. There's a possibility of rain. I saw earlier in the week as much as a 100% chance of rain, and that's why where I think it could have been a shootout, I'm not sure that it will be, just because of the conditions, but still should be, each team should be able to manage at least 3 touchdowns, I think. But I just wanted to throw that in there that, the possibility was that it could have been a 42-41 game like we saw a few years ago, but I don't think with the conditions going to be the way they are, I'm not sure that's going to be the case. Just wanted to throw that in there.
Yeah, I agree with you. It will be interesting to watch. They're still sticking with the rain might taper off by game time. It's supposed to rain all morning. We'll probably have at least some rain during the game, but we'll see. We will see how that goes. All right, we have some questions from subscribers, from listeners that we're going to answer. Let's start with BeatEmBucks86. BeatEmBucks86. He says, Steve and Dave, do you see a scenario where the defense makes any substantial changes in scheme from last week? Any more player rotation as far as like Justin Hilliard or Baron Browning, now that he's healthy, Dante Booker, and he adds, all the stops need to be pulled out to win this game. So, Steve, do you see the defense making any big changes for the game tomorrow?
Well, I would hope that they learned from what happened against Maryland, and Maryland in particular ran twice to the short side. Once they put a man in motion and the defense shifted to the field side, and that was not necessary. First of all, the quarterback wouldn't have been capable of making a throw from the left side of the field to the right side of the field quick enough to where they couldn't have reacted to it. So I think that they were very overprotective of those screens and, whatever it was that they thought Maryland was trying to do by loading up the wide side of the field, and they left the field side completely vulnerable to what we saw. And if they do that against Michigan, forget it. Higdon will take it the distance. So I think that they've got to shore that up. I think that's the first thing. I don't know why you'd show that or play that, but that's what happened on those two plays. And then beyond that, I agree. I think Baron Browning is going to play some if he's healthy and ready to go, which they say he is. I like games where they've rotated a lot of defensive linemen in to keep Jones and Young fresh. But when the money's on the line, I want those two guys out there because they make things happen. So, not so much for everybody else. So Andrews is a good run player. But yeah, I don't know. I just figured that Arnett and Sheffield going to have their hands full with Nico Collins and Donovan Peoples-Jones. DPJ is a little bit of a freak, in my opinion. He doesn't have big numbers for the year, but he can make big plays. So I don't know. That's kind of my thought. But yeah, I think it'll be a better game defensively. Let's just say that.
Next question is from GH Buck 23. GH Buck 23. He wants to know. He says, why are both Grinch and Schiano on the sidelines? How can they run a good defense without one of the actual coordinators in the press box? Who is in the press box? Bill Davis? That's the end of his question. Yeah, this is one that I've wondered all year, too. This is a good question because I think one of those guys should be in the press box, either Grinch or Schiano. And, yeah, I believe Bill Davis is in the press box. They might have Taver Johnson up there, too. Steve, your thoughts on that question? I think it's a really good one.
Oh, I agree 100% because, I think they had Schiano on the sideline to help out Ryan Day early in the season, and maybe that's just the groove that they got into. But I don't understand why they kept that once Urban Meyer was back. They should have moved Schiano back upstairs and, where he could see the field. You're right. This just hasn't gone well. I don't know what to say, but, I don't know. Defensively, they need to do much better if they expect to do anything big here at the end of the year.
Next question is from OWU Buckeye 51. OWU Buckeye 51. It says, who is the paper tiger here? Is it that team up north's defense who hasn't faced any potent offenses all year, or Ohio State's offense who hasn't faced a defense like this all year? What say these, Steve?
I don't I don't know that Ohio State hasn't played some good defenses. I think Michigan State and Maryland, at least with some disciplines, were pretty good. Overall, yeah. It's hard to be much better than number one. So, yeah, I agree in premise. But we've seen great Michigan defenses last year, the year before. Ohio State scored 30 the year before. They scored 31 last year against a great Michigan defense. So we've seen it in the past, and Ohio State still managed to put the ball in the end zone. So, it's hard to keep a great offense down. That's the thing that I think about. And unless Ohio State turns the ball over, which they did do that last week, 3 turnovers, and that really helped Maryland a lot. If Ohio State can avoid those turnovers, then they will have, I feel, a great shot to put the ball in the end zone. So, do I expect them to score 45 points? No, but they're not going to get shut out. I can't imagine that.
Yeah, and I don't think either unit is a paper tiger. We're talking about an excellent Michigan defense, and we're talking about an excellent Ohio State offense. For all the hand-wringing we've done about this Ohio State team, myself included, this is the number 2 total offense in the country. We're not going to see a passing offense at Ohio State like this for a long, long time, assuming Dwayne Haskins leaves early. Maybe he won't, so maybe we'll see it again next year. But we've never seen one like this before, and it's going to be a long time before we see one like this again, if we ever see one like this again. So I think both units are fantastic. Neither one of them are a paper tiger, in my opinion. All right, last question from a subscriber. This is from Captain M. Smith. Captain M. Smith. He asks, will the offensive game plan be to throw, loosen up the Michigan D to possibly set up the run later, or we establish the run from the start? He says, I think the former is the better approach. So basically he wants to come out almost kind of like Jim Tressel did in that 2005 game at Michigan. There's been some other ones. Even 2006 when Ohio State came out throwing the ball all over the lot. He's saying they need to come out, throw the ball to set up the run. Don't try and just run the ball to set up the pass. I agree with what he's saying there, Steve. I think they need to come out and establish the throw, because they're not just going to be able to run the ball down Michigan's throat to start the game off, in my opinion. What do you think?
I agree. I think that you have got to put Michigan on their heels. So if you can make a good drive to start the game or mount a good drive and put the ball in the end zone first and draw first blood, that usually can give you a psychological edge, and I think I would agree. I think that they need to test what they're going to be able to do against Michigan's pass rush and their secondary. I think that is imperative. I think Devin Bush, the linebacker, is probably one of their, if not their best player, along with Rashawn Gary. The defensive end, it doesn't sound like Chase Winovich. I guess you get conflicting information whether or not he's going to be able to play or not. But I seriously doubt he's going to play.
I seriously doubt he's going to play. That's just my opinion. Go ahead, sorry.
If he does, I can't imagine he's 100%. So, because it sounded like a pretty serious injury if all things were being considered. So, that's a major minus for them if he can't play. So I would agree. I think you test the pass rush and the pass defense and try and move the ball quickly and get the ball in the end zone first. And that it does run counter, I think, to what a lot of people over the years have thought, that Ohio State tries to come out and establish the run early in the game, particularly if you're backed up in your own end. If you're starting on your own 25 after a kickoff or a punt or whatever, you may try and run the ball first and be conservative. But with Haskins, I don't think you have to worry about that. He has not thrown many interceptions, although that was a pick six. He threw into triple coverage last week. So, that's been the exception rather than the rule with him. So, I'd say I agree. I'd say come out throwing.
Thanks to our subscribers for their questions. Those were good questions, and thanks very much to Steve Helwagen for his wisdom on today's show. Hope everyone enjoys the game tomorrow, of course. Enjoy the leftovers today. I know I'll enjoy those, but appreciate Steve Helwagen. Thank you, Steve, and thanks to all the listeners out there for tuning into the show. Let's hear that Buckeye swag, best damn band in the land.